Removing the automatic or assigned gratuities on your cruise. Is that stealing? Hey, what's up everybody? Tony with Lido, Loca. Welcome to the YouTube channel. If you're brand new here, consider subscribing with the notification bell on so you don't miss out on any of our content. This is episode 3 of the series, Is That Stealing? Last week we talked about sharing drinks on the drink package, whether or not that was stealing. Again, mixed results. That's the cool thing about all these topics. It gives us a chance to dialogue and you get to see a lot of perspectives. It really broke down into hardcore, yeah, it's stealing, and then other people saying, I paid my money, I'll do what I want with my drinks. Now, the debate rages, right? Because I think there's arguments on both sides, but if you want to see an interesting debate about whether sharing the drink package is stealing, go back and check out last week's video and jump in the comments. There's a lot of good stuff there. But on to the topic this week, removing the automatic gratuities from your cruise bill. Is that stealing? So before we jump into it, let's talk about what the automatic gratuity is. The major cruise lines, let's just deal with 2. There's going to be variations all the way around. Carnival Cruise Lines, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, they have an automatic gratuity policy. So that means that every day they assign to everyone in your stateroom a certain dollar amount that will go onto your shipboard account for gratuities. So I'm going to quickly read and throw up the cruise line gratuity policies for Carnival and Royal, and we'll go through some key takeaways. This is Carnival's policy. I'll read just a little bit to you just to give you the feel. Of course, you can read the whole thing here, and I will leave the links for these policies in the description below. This is on Carnival's website. It is customary for our guests to extend gratuities to the shipboard staff in appreciation of their hard work and exceptional service. 100% of your gratuities are distributed to the crew who interact with you, such as your stateroom attendants, dining, bar, and culinary services staff, as well as others who work behind the scenes to enhance your overall cruise experience. Applying this charge automatically streamlines the recognition process and ensures our crew will share in your generosity. To help you plan, we have provided the recommended guidelines. It talks about where you can prepay your gratuities before you go on the cruise, and that if you don't prepay your gratuities, that the second to the last day of the cruise, gratuities will be added to your account. And then the additional information talks about things like the beverage package, not included. Beverage is not included in the standard gratuity. Every time you purchase a beverage, 18% gratuity is added, or if you purchase the drink package, an 18% gratuity is added to that. And the big call out there is room service is not included in the gratuity. So if you use room service, you should tip your room service staff. All right, moving on to Royal. The automatic service gratuity is $14.50 per day per person, $17.50 for the guest suites. The gratuity applies to individual guests of all ages and stateroom categories as a way to reward our crew members for their outstanding service. Gratuities are shared among dining, bar, and culinary staff, stateroom attendants, and other hotel services teams who work behind the scenes to enhance your experience. The automatic daily gratuity is based on customary industry standards. Applying this charge automatically helps streamline the recognition process for crew members that work to enhance your cruise. We hope you find the gratuity to be an accurate reflection of your satisfaction, and thank you for the generous recognition. Again, they have a call out to the beverages being outside of the standard gratuity, but an 18% gratuity is added when you make a purchase. Same thing with their drink package. So as you can see, both of those policies are fairly similar. The Carnival one confuses me a little bit. 100% of your gratuity goes to people that you directly interact with and people behind the scenes that you don't see. How can 100% go to people I interact with and people I don't interact with? I don't know, that's fuzzy math to me. But the takeaway is both of the cruise lines say that your gratuity goes to people that are right there in your face, and there are people in the back that you don't see that are getting some of that assigned gratuity. To note, Royal applies to passengers of all ages. Carnival's applies to passengers of all ages except for 2 and under. So if you have a baby, you don't have to pay the gratuities on Carnival. Both of the cruise lines say that at your discretion, you can alter the amount of the gratuity by going to customer service while you're on the cruise ship, and you can reduce or increase the amount of your gratuity. You can reduce it all the way down to 0. It's right there in the policy, so that's significant to note also. The one thing I don't know about, and maybe you guys can help me, is prepaid gratuities. In that Royal policy, it says if you prepay gratuities, you won't see it on your shipboard account. And so if you don't see it on your shipboard account, can you still have that adjusted? It could be something to note if you're somebody who likes to adjust your gratuities. I don't know if prepaying is the way to go. Does anybody have any experience with that? Have you prepaid your gratuities and then adjusted them once you're on the cruise ship? To me, reading those policies, it sounds like if you want to adjust your gratuities, you have to let them hit your shipboard account daily on Royal or the second to the last day on Carnival. If you guys know about that, leave it in the comments. But on to the moral dilemma, on to the problem that we come here to discuss today. If you remove those automatic gratuities, is it stealing? I've had mixed emotions on this. Let's talk about it. From the cruise line's perspective, I'm gonna say no, it's not stealing, only because they allow you to adjust the gratuity. If it was something that you were getting around, if it was some policy that you were skirting, if you found some loophole to get over on the cruise ship, I say maybe stealing, but that's not the case. Right there in their policy, it says, if you like, you can adjust the gratuity. So if you adjust that all the way down to 0 and do something else with your money, hand pay tips, I feel like you're not stealing. So really the moral quandary here, and the only reason it is a quandary is because of those policies where they say that your tips go to people you can see and people in the back. Is it wrong to remove or adjust your automatic gratuity to 0, only tip the people that you see? Have you fouled up the people in the back? I think that's the million-dollar question. I think the main reason that I leave my assigned gratuities on is because I don't want to mess up the guy in the back. Yeah, this one's tough for me. I used to be hardcore, don't ever remove your gratuities. But the more I've gone cruising and the more I've dealt with this, look, I think at the end of the day, if you adjust your gratuities, take it all the way to 0 and hand pay people, there are people in the back, according to this policy, that are making less money. Is that stealing from them? I don't think I would go that far to say that that's stealing from them. And again, the policy allows you to do that. And traditionally, in at least the American culture, we tip for services, we tip people that are right there in our face. We tip waiters, we tip bartenders, we tip shuttle drivers, we tip taxi drivers, we tip the people that cut our hair, we tip, people that are there doing a service for us in real time. When they get done, we will tip them in many cases. And so, at least from an American culture perspective, that makes sense to tip the person that you see and let the company pay for the person that is behind the scenes. That is my only beef with the policy. I don't know why the cruise lines use gratuity for people that don't directly interact with you. Now I know, like I said, Carnival's thing says 100% of the people that interact with you plus some people you don't see. Like, I read that statement over and over and over. Like, did I misplace a comma? Am I reading it wrong? How can it be 100% goes to the people you interact with and some people you don't interact with? It's weird. I guess I'm all over the place because this one is a hotbed issue. At the end of the day, if you remove your gratuities and you tip, hand tip, I don't believe that you are stealing. I guess you can make the case that you shouldn't be forced to pay gratuity at all. There's no rule that says you have to pay gratuity. You paid your money for your cruise fare and you don't have to tip. I mean, if you can reduce your gratuities to 0, there's nothing that says you have to tip. Now, I don't know whether that's the bang up, cool, karmatic, reap what you sow kind of thing to do, but I think technically you don't have to do that. I'm a little wishy-washy because, like I said before in other videos, cruise ship tipping is a weird, frustrating mess. So for me, the options are this. I can pay my assigned gratuities and do nothing else. I can let the cruise line determine who gets that extra money. Is it my room steward? Is it the dining room? Is it some people in the back? I can do that and do nothing else. And I think I feel okay about that. I can also pay my assigned gratuities and I can bring cash with me and I can tip but maybe I should just tip for exceptional service. Me, as a rule of thumb, I just try to give 30 bucks to my room steward or 40 bucks to my room steward, whether the service was good or not. That just seems like the thing to do. But why? Just because I'm supplementing something, I don't know. So, there's people that do that do the assigned gratuities, that pay cash. Another option is to reduce your assigned gratuities to 0, just pay cash. I know there's people that do that. And then I guess you could just reduce your assigned gratuities to 0 and not pay anything. Again, I'm starting to lean on option 1 for me. I'm just going to pay my assigned gratuities and not think about it anymore. I'm worried that I'm going to be judged, seen as a cheapo, that kind of thing. But that's the construct that I'm in. I don't know who's getting money behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. The cruise line says right there in the policy, the reason they do the assigned gratuity is to make it the most easy to get gratuities to the people that are supposed to get them. I might just say good enough. That's just my opinion. I would be interested to hear, removing the prepaid gratuities, is that stealing? How do you approach it? Leave a comment below. Let's have the conversation. Thanks for stopping by. Tony with Lido Loca. Follow us on all of our social media. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.